Hey guys, it's me, Miss Mills, and welcome to Mrs. Mills' Math Time. The whole point of this video is to help you out with IXL Z.17, which is identifying linear and nonlinear functions, graphs, and equations. And if you don't know what it means for a linear function, or for a graph to be a linear function, or for an equation to be a linear function, I recommend going back and watching the video that went along with identifying linear and nonlinear functions notes, and then coming back and doing this IXL. But for the people who have already done that, let's go ahead and do this. So, is the function linear or nonlinear? Well, if you remember from your notes, for a graph to be a linear function, it just had to satisfy one requirement, and that one requirement was for it to be a straight line. And this graph is obviously a straight line, so it's a linear function. It also passes the vertical line test, so yeah, it's a function too. But now we look at this graph. It's not a straight line, so it's not linear. It is still a function though, because it passes the vertical line test, but it's not a linear function. All right, same thing here. It's not a straight line, so it's not linear. This is a straight line, so it's linear. Oh, so now we don't have a line, but we have dots. Well, if you do look at the dots, you know, when you connect the dots, when you have dots like this, you can connect the dots and make a line. So this is the same thing as a line. Don't let it freak you out. But looking at it, it's not a straight line. It does this little curve here, so it's not linear. This one is linear because if you connect the dots and made a straight line, it's a straight line. So it's linear. Okay, that's linear too, because it's a straight line. Alright, this is not linear because it's not a straight line. Let's get to equations, guys. Alright, cool, so we're at equations. So remember, for an equation to be linear, it has to be in y equals mx plus b. It has to be exactly like that. But here's the thing, and this is where this IXL gets a little iffy. It has to be in this equation, but there's some equations that are not in its smallest form. So you need to make sure that each equation is in its smallest form. And if it's in its smallest form and it's in y equals mx plus b, then it is linear. If it's not in its, or if it is in its smallest form and it's not in y equals mx plus b, then it's not linear. So let's do some examples of that. So here we have y equals x to the 8th power plus 2. Because of this exponent there, it does not satisfy the requirement of y equals mx plus b. There's not any exponents here. Because of that exponent, this is not going to be linear. Okay, so let's look at this one. This is in y equals mx plus b. Our slope is negative 10. Our y-intercept is negative 8, so this is linear. Same thing here. This satisfies y equals mx plus b because our slope is 1, because if you have an x by itself, you can automatically assume there's a 1 in front of it. And our y-intercept is 3, so this is linear. Alright, so we got something that's a little weird. But, again, here we have that pesky little exponent. If you see that exponent there, it's never going to be a linear function. Alright, same thing here. 5 to the x power, that x should not be an exponent. It's not an exponent, so this can't be linear. Y equals 1/5. All right, so what this means is that the slope is 0, but the y-intercept is 1/5. Guys, this still is a straight line when on a graph. It's going to be a horizontal line, and it's going to cross the y-axis at 1/5. But it is still linear because it is still a straight line. The slope's just 0. Okay. This is not in proper y equals mx plus b because of the square root symbol, so that's not linear. Alright, this is linear because our y-intercept is 0, so that means we wouldn't have a plus 0 at the end, but our slope is still 7/9. Since this still is in y equals mx plus b, and again, what it's going to look like is it's going to look like this. Y equals 7/9x plus 0. Again, you don't have to put plus 0 on an equation. It doesn't add or take away anything. So we could get rid of this, but it still satisfies the equation requirements. So that is linear. All right, same thing here. X over 4, yeah, that's not going to be linear. Actually, it is going to be linear, and here's why. Y equals x over 4 plus 5/8. All right, so let's talk about this. Sorry about that, I had a brain fart. So again, you can automatically assume there is a 1 in front of that x because an x can't be by itself. It can't be 0 because then the x wouldn't be there. So if there's an x by itself, there's automatically a 1 in front of it. That makes this equation y equals 1/4 x plus 5 over 8, which is in the proper y equals mx plus b format. Therefore, this is linear. Okay, we have a pesky little exponent there. If you see an exponent, no, it's not going to be linear. Never going to happen. And all right, so this is y equals 1/4 minus 10 to the x power. Again, this is one of those situations where it's not in its smallest form. Again, it needs to be in y equals mx plus b. So when you see this, the slope always needs to be in the front with the x. So 10x is the slope, so we need to put that to the front. So we can do that. But we got to bring this negative with it. So this is going to be negative 10x plus 1/4. This does require the y equals mx plus b equation format. Therefore, it is linear. And I got to a 90%, and that's all you have to do. Guys, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask me. Good luck on this, and y'all are going to do awesome. Bye.